I've sung the praises of Made In Cookware for a while now. I own many pieces myself. Now Made In has changed nonstick cookware for good with their ceramic-clad pans. They're premium stainless pans with next-gen ceramic coating free of harmful materials. Beautiful, even cooking, and easy to clean. It's even oven safe up to 550 degrees. How do I know how great they are? I added one to my kitchen. Don't need a nonstick pan? Made In has pots, cutlery, bakeware, glassware, and everything you need. Take your home cooking to the next level by upgrading your cookware by going to unitedwedrink.com/madein, MADEIN. Find out why pros trust Made In. Go to unitedwedrink.com/madein and upgrade your kitchen and cooking today. The opinions and statements in this podcast do not represent those of the host's employers, co-workers, family, or imaginary friends. Now enjoy the show.
Happy hour? More like amateur hour. Welcome to United We Drink.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another new episode of the United We Drink podcast right here on unitedwedrink.com, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever fine podcasts are found. My name is Mike Urevich. I am a husband, a father, a tortured Philadelphia sports fan. And with me, as always, are my friends, my compatriots, Kevin Abbott, Tim Johnson.
Hello, Michael.
I don't know what it is. Your intro came in a little low, and then with Kevin's "Hello, Michael" there's something very kind of NPR about this episode as it's kicking off. I don't know if we're all a little lower energy or what it is.
I'm definitely a little lower energy.
Well, I wanted to make this episode about jazz. So, maybe we can start in with this.
Oh man! So there's a guy at work who seems to
Ira Glass is now producing these shows.
See, I'd actually reached out to Kai Rizdal one time to see if we couldn't do a Kai PA, and he responded, and basically said that American public media wouldn't let him do it. And then like 6 months later, he was doing a wine thing. So, screw you, Kai Rizdal. I'm kidding. I still like Marketplace, so I'm not
Take
gonna
that, Rizdal.
Yeah,
I'm glad someone's finally taking that guy down a peg.
yeah.
I don't even know who he is, so I'm kicking him down a bunch of pegs.
I only know him from when was it Stephen Dubner was on his show from Freakonomics Radio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He used to go on Marketplace like once a month or something, and they would do a small thing.
Yeah.
That's a great show. I haven't listened to it in a long time because there's so many damn podcasts out there that I love that I'm still trying to catch up with.
I only mostly listen to NPR, to be quite honest.
Do it while you can.
Well, it's so fun. It's so funny because I remember as a kid. So like when my dad would go visit farms and I'd ride along with him, my dad was listening to a lot of talk radio. I think mostly for like Farm Report and stuff like that. But I always just used to think, oh God, this is so boring. And the other day I was driving into work and I was like, I can't remember the last time I just listened to music on my commute. I feel like there's something, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a lonely person who needs human interaction or what it is. But I have been listening to that. And then aside from jazz, going back to the jazz 88, and a guy at work has been listening to a lot of jazz lately, but it's all been like rainy day jazz, right? So it hasn't really been like upbeat jazz. It's been a lot more, well, like the playlist played the freaking Charlie Brown Christmas thing today. And I was
Tenenbaum.
No, the do 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 do, like that really sad.
Which?
And it was just like, yeah, the every time Charlie Brown walks away, sad, and I was like, man, work has been so rough lately. I don't need to be like more depressed or wishing I was like curled up with a coffee, smoking a cigarette for some reason, and like like an ultra warm turtleneck sweater. It's just the vibe I got out of that music. So if that's what tonight's podcast is going to be, I guess maybe I'm all for it.
We're all on the
We
same
got
page, guys.
1 hour of uninterrupted jazz coming at you right here. This segment is brought to you by Liquid Death. No.
Yeah, that totally vibes with Rainy Day Jazz is a name of Liquid Death.
What are you drinking, Tim?
I stopped off at Forgotten Star, which is the brewery closest to work, on the way home, and I picked up a crowler of their cream ale. Just something I thought would be kind of nice, light drinking, help me kind of segue into the evening after we're done recording, and it's quite delightful. I think a lot of people up in this area misunderstand what a cream ale is, and I think Matt over at Forgotten Star does not misunderstand what a cream ale is supposed to be.
So it tastes like vanilla, right? That's what it.
We don't get like a lot of that type of cream ale, but I think a lot of cream ales up here don't taste as like I was trying to explain because I can't help being a dork, but like they were asking about cream ale, like a group of us from work were there, and I was talking about how this was North America's answer to German lagers. And so you have to think of them drinking more like lagers. And I think a lot of other people like to think of them as, I don't know, a lot of them around here are like more Kolsch like, or some of them are more, I don't know, super extra grainy. Like they're trying to lean into some of that. And I don't, I love cream ale as a style, but I think there's a really popular one that I'm not going to name around here that I think is a fine enough beer, but garbage as far as a cream ale goes.
I will tell you what I'm drinking just because I want to jump in, but also this is hilarious because maybe a week ago, one of my partners, Keith, every now and then he'll come and ask me a just bizarre off the wall question about a beer we should make or what have you. And he, it's not as an aside, he's like, should we be making a cream ale? Like out there in the market? Is there a market for that? And I just started laughing and shaking my head. There hasn't been a market for a cream ale in South Florida ever, and there probably never will be a market for it. And I said that, and he's like, "Well, what about?" Oh, sorry, Mike. I forgot I'm not supposed to say that. But I was like, "That wasn't a cream ale. That was a caramel beer." And yes, that did pretty well until it didn't do well anymore. So, but it was this really interesting conversation where like I'm just expecting to walk in next week and he's like, "Should we do a Grodzitsky? Is there a big Grodzitsky market right now?"
I would like you to say yes to that question just for my own satisfaction.
No, there's
So I can come buy 1 6-pack from you and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great beer styles out there, and yes, I want to do them all, but I just think it wasn't even like, should we do this as a special one-off? It's like, should we launch a fourth core brand and it should be a
Yeah,
cream ale?
no.
And the answer is no.
I
And
think we're all Groot all the time. That's what you should be doing.
there you go.
Ralph is listening to this episode being like,
Fuck my life.
Christ.
Okay, before I finish my first beer, which I've almost already done because we've been talking for a while before we came on, I have the 6 Point Oktoberfest. This is a beer that I love. I really, really dig this beer. It's a Marzen, but it's not like I find, and I don't know if you guys would agree with me, that a lot of American breweries, when they do a Marzen, they're kind of brownish in color, real big malty, maybe bordering on too sweet. And this, I think I've overused this. I don't know if the analogy is the right term, but I think this kind of borders the line between being a little more fest beery and
Mhm.
Marzen like. And I think there's a couple beers out there that I've said that about, but I think it's applicable. It's really beautiful in color, super tasty, and dry as a bone. And it just every time I have a 6 Point beer, I go, man, why don't I drink more fucking 6 Point beer? Because it's really, really good stuff, but there's just not a lot that I have available to me
I
down
was
here.
gonna say I can't remember the last time I saw a 6 Point beer, and that kind of I just when you brought that up, I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot about 6 Point. And I have always loved everything I've ever had from them, but I can't remember the last time I've seen it. I don't know if it's available here. Maybe it was available in Wisconsin, but I can't remember. But yeah, I would be curious to give that a try. That sounds tasty.
Yeah, if you see it,
Yeah.
I would recommend it.
I think one of the better breweries that I just, sometimes forget about out there. Like, I think maybe a year ago, I saw I think it was like a core variety pack at
Mhm.
like my ABC. And I'm like, okay, it's in code. I'll get it. It was Bengali crisp resin, and there was a hazy IPA in there. And like, I love resin so much. Like,
Great beer.
that is just one of the best double IPAs ever. And like, Bengali's still so good, and crisp is exactly that, crisp and delicious. Yeah, I'll have to see if I see that. And like, when you held that up, I'm like, yeah, that looks like what a Marzen should. And there are just so many breweries out there that their Marzens border on brown ale
Yeah.
colors, and they are like kind of sweet. And so it's great to see that looks more of like the light amber color, and hearing that it's not so much on that. It's kind of why, like, I feel like I started liking Fest beer more, is because I felt like so many American breweries were doing Marzen wrong.
And you know what? Just I'll have a caveat here for any sticklers for styles. Like this is probably just a really well made, accurately made Marzen. I'm saying
Yeah.
it's more fest beer hybridy because what the if you look at like Left Hand's Marzen, it's really good, but it's almost black. It's a dark
Hmm.
colored, deep, rich beer. I love it. I like the variance there, but to me, this is a little more authentic Marzen, which I'm so proud.
You toggling between
Kevin's microphone
microphones.
just changed there.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, but
You
it sounds
sound
like,
like the
Okay, so
old Mike.
yes, it sounds like it went back to your computer.
so the big problem here, guys, which is I don't know how well I'm being heard here, is that I just bought a brand new microphone, and in the middle of me talking, it just completely turned off. So this is now no longer working, and that's not good. So I've already said enough. Mike, what are you drinking?
Um, so I forgot to buy beer today. So all I have in my house, beer wise, is a single can of Peroni that is left over from a cookout that we had a few weeks ago. It's just a little. Oh, it is 12 ounces. I thought it was smaller than 12 ounces, but it's like the slim can. Um, and then to back that up, I have some Angel's Envy bourbon that I'm just gonna that I got from Costco this morning. So I did remember that. I didn't see. Oh, okay. This is actually, I know why I didn't buy any beer. I didn't see any beer at my Costco this morning for some, like, I know that they change up where some stuff is like all the time. And beer tends to be one of those things that they move around. And sometimes it's by the wine, sometimes it's by the energy drinks, sometimes it's by the sodas, sometimes it's by the waters, sometimes it's in none of those places. And today was one of those days where it was in none of those places. And I went through the store twice because I couldn't find flushable wipes because they moved those to a different location. Normally, those used to be by the like diapers, and now they are with the toilet paper. But I digress. So, uh, I still know where the Angel's Envy is, in the liquor store that I go to. Right out, I get the person to check my receipt, make a hard right into the liquor store, and get a get a few bottles of stuff there for really cheap. All right, so while Kevin continues to noodle around. He's just giving up. Just giving up. It was nice while it lasted, Kevin.
It was
Oh, he
really
just
great. Yeah.
yeah.
So just tell me, should I speak a little bit louder? How's my volume here?
Your volume isn't the issue. So
Yeah, we
I
can
think
hear you.
Okay, good.
It's
Yeah.
just
I just
not
want to.
it's a little echoey because yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do here is figure out a way to return this goddamn microphone that I just got. The other one we had, Mike, that you recommended that I think you're still working off of, used for years and then just stopped working. Buy a brand new one, stops working immediately. So that's that.
It's because it doesn't have AI in it, so therefore it doesn't work. That's how it works,
I
right?
I will not be silenced, no matter how
AI
much.
AI will not be
No
silenced.
matter how much this company that makes this microphone and our listeners want me to be, I refuse.
Well said, Kevin. Well said. All right. So, what we wanted to talk about tonight is a thing that I feel like let's go back like 15 years. Maybe not even 15
I was gonna
years.
say 10 years,
10?
really. Yeah.
10 years ago. Almost any brewery that you saw that was about to open up, what were they doing? They were raising money through fucking crowdsourcing, right? Kickstarter, GoFundMe, mostly Kickstarter, I think, at that point in time. So many breweries doing this. I know that I donated to a number of breweries looking to open their doors through crowdfunding. And the funny thing is, of all of them, only one of them actually opened. Uh,
Can you say
Modern
which one?
Times, and they
Oh.
they actually aren't a very financially sound company. Well, they might be now because I know Maui bought them, but they were not doing so well like 5 years ago. But it seemed like a thing that everyone was doing, and now here we are in 2025, where breweries are struggling to stay open. Is crowdfunding still happening? Is it helping? Is it working? Or like, I feel like I don't even see crowdfunding being done much anymore for things in general. Like, it used to be big on gaming, books.
Movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, tons of
And
that.
I feel like before we get too deep, like, I mean, I shouldn't get too deep into it, but like, Tim, let's go back 10 years. What was crowdfunding like that you saw in the brewing industry, the beverage industry back then? Like,
Yeah, I mean it did seem like everyone that was opening had a GoFundMe or a Go Fund Yourself or something like that. Um but it was always like this level gets you, $1 off pints and
perks, yeah.
a free growler fill every time you come in, or a lot of those things, and they seemed to be fairly popular. I think pre-pandemic people had a lot of different spending habits, though, as well as just the I think how many brewery crowdsourcing things can you give to before there's like too many breweries in your area and you've given to too many. I mean, I think probably it also kind of between the economic hardships and the sheer volume of them. But they were still niche. Like I said, 2015, it felt like everyone was doing them. Um, uh, but I also feel like maybe there got to be a little bit of backlash, maybe right around 5 years ago. Like you said, in other industries, right? Um, I didn't really do any real preparation for this episode, but I remember reading something along the lines of how, you know, something like 88% of crowdfunding attempts now no longer get fully funded. Like they're mostly not successful anymore. And it seems like the the amount of crowdfunding hasn't necessarily gone away, but the total dollar amount has changed a bit. I think it's not just beer. But yeah, I definitely saw it as a very
The dollar
popular thing.
amount, as in what is being asked for or what is being given,
I think both.
or both. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
probably one is going higher, the amount being asked for, and what's being given is going lower.
Well, I mean, when this started, and I have no idea when GoFundMe or whatever began, but it was this amazing platform. And forget beer, I'll tell you about what I donated to. So Penn Jillette, my hero, and uh, spirit animal. I love his content, his books, things of that nature. And he was putting a movie together that was just crazy. It was a ridiculous movie that no movie studio was going to fund. And he had a really good director. And it was an all found footage movie that ended up being called Director's Cut. And I gave several $100s to get me to a level that I could go to Chicago to watch a pre-screening of the movie and get posters and all this other kind of stuff. I really love Penn Jillette. I really wanted to see this movie. I thought it was a great idea, and the movie's really good. It's you guys have probably never heard of it because it's not like it became popular. You probably, other than the crowdfunding, didn't make any money off of it. But it was a good opportunity to support a artist that I like, to see a thing that I would not have gotten to see if people like me had not put the money in.
Mhm.
That is what so much of like the allure of crowdfunding was. And you move that to like the brewery space. It's like my hometown, they're going to make classic German lagers. And without me, that place isn't going to open. And I want to drink those beers. So I'm going to give $50 or $100 or $250 and whatever. That was the the kind of the guiding light of what we were told. But then just everyone just said, well, if they're giving money here, let's just do everything here. And then you have movie stars with plenty of money going in crowdfunding stuff to do something. And then the just like the brewery industry, the marketplace is just flooded with 10,000 things. You can't give your money to all of them. So I think that it's just burnout. There's too many things to give to. Even for people that want to do it, there's probably right now, if I went on one of these websites, I probably could find 30, 40 things that I would believe in and be interested in, but I'm not going to give them any money because I don't believe in them enough, because everything's divided into so many aspects. But if there was one or two, I'd give $50 or I'd give $100 to do it. So I think that the flooding of the market for this, and then also the fact that many of these didn't get funded properly, there's been fraud. I think people have kind of given up on it because they don't even trust where the money's going.
Think that fraud is like the big thing that happened during all of this. Like, fraud is always going to find its way into something that is meant to be good and genuine. And I almost hate tagging fraud onto this personal story into this, because I don't know if it was necessarily fraud, but it was really fucking bad planning. One of the first Kickstarters that I ever contributed to for a brewing operation was, let's see if Tim remembers this one, if he was around during this time. Wilderness Brewing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so a couple dudes who were like beer geeks, home brewers. One of them lived in the Kansas City area. The other one is a friend of they actually, the original incarnation of this show, we had them on the show to talk about putting together a Kickstarter for their brewery. That doesn't exist anymore. You can't find it. Maybe someone has it downloaded. That would be fun. If you do, let us know. But so they put together this Kickstarter to open up a brewery in Kansas City, and I can't remember what their goal was, but they hit it like fucking easily.
Mhm.
And then some. And they said that this wasn't for all of the brewery. It was just for doing for getting certain stuff. And that's always what these Kickstarters are were meant to be for. And a lot of the beverage stuff was, this isn't to help us open the entire thing, because then you'd be looking for like millions of dollars. But a lot of times they were crowdfunding for maybe $50,000, $100,000, $250,000 for like tap room, or a certain type of bits of equipment, but not the entire thing. So Wilderness, they succeeded, and then communication started dropping off, and then people are like, oh, okay, what's going on? I haven't gotten my swag. Oh, we're going to get that out to you. I did eventually get a bottle opener. I will say that. And
You're welcome.
I think I still have it. I have all of like my lanyards and credentials from like beer fests and CBCs and stuff, with like bottle openers and other swag that I got that could fit on those things somewhere in a box. So if I do find that, I'll look for it, and if I do find it, I will post it on our Blue Sky. But yeah, then communication dropped. Then it was like, we're not going to be able to do this. And people were fucking pissed, rightfully so. They got a lot of money out of this thing, and they just walked away, and they didn't refund anyone, as far as I remember. Um, Allegedly, I'll throw that in there just to
Yeah, I was
save
gonna.
myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was the first thing I ever donated money to, and I was like, I felt like, oh fuck, I got kind of fucked on this. And then I don't remember what other one I donated to a food truck locally to like try to help them after their truck got fucking totaled in an accident, to rebuild their thing, and they just took that money and fucking ran. And then modern times, I'm like, hey, here we go. We're gonna send you some money. You guys got some great videos that you're putting out about how you're gonna build a brewery. And then they opened. And I was like, oh, sweet. I got a T-shirt. Like, I'm at least glad that you guys opened. And when I was at a GABF one year, I went up to Jacob, who was like one of the original owners, and I was like, I just want you to know that I donated to your Kickstarter, and you're the only business that has successfully opened from that money. So thank you.
My, so my one and only Kickstarter, or maybe it was Kickstarter, one of the early crowdfunding, but my one and only was very successful, and that was Solo Stove. I was one of the very first people to ever give money to Solo Stove, and I got a Solo Stove at it for dirt cheap compared to what they get. What are they, like $500-600 now? I don't remember how much. They're expensive as hell. But this was when they first started off. They launched their brand from, I think it was Kickstarter, and that was my one and only, which was so funny. So like way back in, like, I don't know, 2007, 2006 or whatever. I went and I saw Muhammad Yunus speak. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He is this, I think he's Bangladeshi. I think Bangladeshi, like, entrepreneur, economist, and he won a Nobel Peace Prize for the concept of microlending. Microlending wasn't a thing at the time, right? Like,
Is
and
it
it
a
was.
thing? Because I don't know what micro lending
So,
is.
it was kind of a precursor to this, right? So, microlending was, hey, in order to boost our economy, like, banks don't give out small loans. You know what I mean? You can't just go get a loan of, like, at least at the time, definitely. You couldn't just go get a loan of, I just need $1,000 to be able to kind of get going. Like, if you were going to get a business loan, even a small business loan, it was going to be a substantial amount. And so he had really, particularly there, had created this whole concept of micro lending of, you know, it really was just kind of a way of saying, hey, you know what? You got $5. This person needs $5 to get something going on.
Okay, so yeah, it is the very early days of
Yeah,
crowdsourcing.
it was kind of a precursor to that. And so I saw him speak at the U. I was really excited to see him coming to town. I was really kind of interested at that
Miami
time.
at the U.
Oh, well, yeah, they're not the only one that goes by the U. Um, but anyway, the University of
According to
Minnesota.
all of the guys who introduced themselves on Monday Night Football, that is the only U.
Well, if Minnesota could have some starters in the NFL, but they actually have done very well in the NFL, not some great college. But anyway, I was really excited to go see him. I was fascinated by this whole concept. And so then when like Kickstarter first kind of started coming up, I was like, oh, that's kind of akin, like that feels like the child of this concept of this micro lending type of thing. And so yeah, I was like, I saw the Solo Stove. I don't remember how I came across it, and I was like, yep, I'm getting that. And that was a very successful one for me. And you would have thought I would have been like, as a guy who was so excited about the concept and a guy who had a very successful first foray into it, you would have thought I would have hopped on a whole lot more. But I don't know if it was just my spidey senses tingling or something, but it felt like this was going to very quickly spiral out of control, and which is what I kind of feel like it did.
Well, you can't talk about the crowdfunding stuff. I mean, we talked about breweries, we've talked about entertainment, but you still have how many people are relying on crowdsourcing to pay their medical bills? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it kind of permeated the culture so much that you still hear that about somebody. I watch a lot of court cases, is one of the things that I kind of do in my spare time that I don't really have. But you hear constantly about people going, "Oh, medical bills, and we're using crowdfunding and a GoFundMe page to pay for my cancer treatments." It's really depressing that we're at a point in society where that's like your best option.
yeah,
Uh, and I think that when you look at business, right, like free market capitalism, like this was like the idea that people said this is what it's all going to be about. You go directly to the source and you fund your thing. And it was this utopian idea. And it was a complete miss because without any regulation, people can run away with your money. And I think and I didn't engage with this nearly as much as it sounds like with you guys. I think I only gave money to two different things over the last 20 years. But I think what it comes down to is that, are the people satisfied with the money that they gave you? And we see this, it's not crowdfunding, but crowdfunding for breweries treats it like this. It's like my mug club, right? You give me some money and I give you a t-shirt and I give you a hat, and Mike, I'll give you a bottle opener. I'm just going to give you a bottle opener no matter what, because
That's
that
all I
meets your goal.
wanted.
That's all you
yeah.
ever wanted.
All of our
Uh,
beer comes in cans, but you're getting a bottle opener.
but you're getting a bottle opener. But you get that, but you expect to get something out of this and a discount when you come in. Like, that is a reasonable thing. It's for people that live in the area. And if they're not satisfied with the deal that I give them, they're not going to sign up next year. They're not going to
Yeah.
re-up. Right. And I think that how many people crowdfunding a brewery were not satisfied at all with the
Yeah.
money they spent. And Mike, you just described multiple ways that you were not satisfied with places. So why are you going to put your money into that? To build somebody else's dream, when all they're offering you is some swag that once they're open, you could just buy that swag with the same amount of money.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what?
yeah. And there
What's
was
funny?
one. Go ahead, Mike.
What's funny is I feel like, as businesses or scammers came into the crowdfunding space and started fucking shit up, and people became like, "Oh, I'm done with that. I'm not funding that thing or that thing or that thing." As businesses or attempts at businesses faded away from it, in came the personal stuff, like Kevin said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people people who were in major accidents, people who have medical bills. I think that that's like the biggest thing now with GoFundMe. Like Kickstarter, I think Kickstarter was all about kickstarting a business, where GoFundMe has become all about like helping individuals deal with tragedy.
Yeah.
And it's fucking sad. And
Jake
like
the
I
Snake
have
Roberts.
donated, yeah, I've donated, I have donated a lot more to personal, like GoFundMe type of things. There was a bartender who I had never met before, never met, uh, worked for Seventh Son, a friend brewery in Dunedin, Florida. Uh, one of one of their bartenders and his wife uh, had emergency C-section for twin babies, and they had all these medical bills built up for it. And Devin, the owner of Seventh Son, opened up a GoFundMe for them. And I was like, I was a newly like twin dad myself, and I'm like, I gotta help out a twin dad in the brewing industry myself. And like, and they still send out updates today about like that the kids are doing great, and it's fucking fantastic. Like that, those are the things like you hate that they have to go through that, but man, the feel good out of that, I feel like is so much more. Like when I have donated to personal GoFundMe's that have helped people in their times of need.
Well, and I think that's probably one of the places where uh the script flipped, right? So it went from breweries help us get going on, and it's like you're getting it on the ground level type of thing, right? You're helping kickstart us,
Yeah.
like you said, to once crowdfunding became more for like the personal people in need, is when you started seeing breweries not crowdfunding to expand or to open or to do anything. But now it seems like what I'm seeing all the Kickstarters and whatever for breweries. There's a South Florida one that was on another podcast that Kevin was also a guest on that I talked about here recently, where their crowdfunding was literally just like, your crowdfunding will help us pay off our contractors we never paid. Um, uh, and a couple of the ones that have happened here in the Twin Cities recently, um, have kind of had the same vein. And I have to tell you, it's one thing to be like, "Hey, I want to help you guys get started. I want to do something neat." Uh, but there's still, even the most liberal amongst us, uh, we still live in a free market society, and we can say, yes, healthcare is screwing a sick person. We don't go, hey, I want to help you struggling business the same way, because now it feels like a little bit more of that's a
Taking
you made
advantage of charity.
yeah, you made your own bed, go lie in it. Like, it's not our fault you were shitty at running a business. And I'm not saying everyone who's necessarily in those, because obviously COVID hit and there were a lot of other things going on. But there are two very high profile crowdfunding efforts in the Twin Cities recently. One, a brewery announced that they were closing, and apparently they've actually had the crowdfunding open since like July. But a brewery announced they were closing like 2 weeks ago, and then like a week ago they promoted their crowdfunding on their website and on their social media. They're like, we need to raise $150,000 in 2 weeks. And everyone else, just to be able to stay open, and everyone else just kind of went wah ha 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 ha. And I looked it up just before we hopped on the pod, and they had raised 5,500 of that 150,000.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah, exactly. And because I think there are a lot of people that are like, why should we why should we bail you out?
Why should we
right?
subsidize you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
And
what it is.
yeah, there's another one that was a really kind of high profile thing that is going on. Well, the crowdfunding happened before, but So there was a very popular brewery in Northeast Minneapolis. The owners decided to move out outside of the city to a farm or whatever. So they built a production facility like an hour away from the cities. They still kept their tap room, their popular tap room. And then building got bought. They lost their space. Now they're production only. They're away from the neighborhood that made them popular in the first place. And they launched this campaign. The idea was, oh, help us build a new kind of tap room out, west of the cities. But it wasn't a full tap room. Their license didn't allow them. At that point, they had to convert to a distribution only. So this wasn't a tap room. This was a seasonal beer garden that could only be open
Pop up.
it could only be available or like used like a certain number of days a year type of thing. And so they were like asking all these people like, hey, you loved us in Northeast, now help us fund this new adventure. And everyone's like, but you left the neighborhood who made you who you are, right? And we get why you did that, but why are you asking? And then it didn't help that like the rewards were so stupid. It was like $5 gets you like a
A
flower.
high five.
Well, it was like a poem written about you and a flower named after you. It was like bullshit like that. And then they like tagged in this stuff like, hey, if you've ever gotten a free pint on us, or maybe you've stolen a beer glass from us, it came across like a you owe us, give us money now type of thing. And again, they wanted to build a new place, but then also the first $30,000 of that crowdfunding was going to just getting financially stable. And then when it got up to like the next 20, that's when they purchased the container for this beer garden and all this type of stuff. And the backlash against them was massive. They got nowhere near because like again, it became it's an ongoing saga. And what's really funny is that so they've been closed for like 6 months now, and then a new owner is coming in to buy the place, and they're gonna try to like open up a tap room in the cities again and try to like revitalize this. But so many people have such a bitter taste in their mouth from this just ill-conceived crowdfunding, begging for money to help keep us open type of thing, that I don't think they're going to be successful if and when they do actually open up a tap room with the same branding and the previous owner is still the head brewer and all that stuff. I think once it became charity, it's like you said, it's easy to want to give charity to someone who is sick and screwed over by the absolutely atrocious healthcare system we have. You feel a lot less charitable to a business that made bad business decisions, and then even worse, you feel less charitable to a business who's kind of coming across like a dick when they're asking for money to help save them from their business decisions.
Well, I mean, that's a good point, and to something Mike was talking about earlier with the scams, and you're saying there are a lot of businesses, restaurants locally or whatever you're into, that might make the best panini, but they're not very good business people, and they go out of business. Right?
Yeah.
There is something all of us would say, well, listen, I fucking love that panini, and I want it to be around, so you know what? I'll put an extra $5 on my order to help keep this place open, even if they're bad business people who don't know how to, get their food costs under control, or they pick the wrong location or what have you. But I think a lot of us would say, well, not all of us can be successful, and even the best business people and the best business plans also fail. So I think a lot of us would be okay if there was some transparency with that. Like, listen, we signed a really shitty lease, and we can't keep this thing going without extra help. So we're going to raise the prices on our beers, and we're going to ask you guys to give us some money. I'm not saying people are going to like jump for joy for that, but I think transparency is important. But I also think it's really important for Mike, when you were talking about the scammers, is there are people that just didn't know what the hell they were doing. They really
Yeah.
just didn't, and now they're asking the community to help them out with it. And you've got the positive things where you're a community institution, and it's really important for people that you're still there. And then you also have the people who no one cares about, and they're saying, "Oh, please bring us some money so we can keep our bartenders paid and our brewers paid." And you're going, "I've never gone there before. I don't find that place to be important to me at all." Uh, we have so much of that going on these platforms, and the noise drowns them all out. And I do think that because we have this American ideology of like, you need to be successful. And if you're not successful, it's 100% your fault. I think there's a knee jerk reaction to go and say, you done fucked up and go away now and we'll get somebody else in here.
Well, I mean, like if you can't recruit customers to your product, how do you expect to recruit customers to your crowdfunding? You know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
like that to me just feels like the most obvious thing is if you're worth saving, you would have had customers that saved you. Uh,
Well,
I'm not.
There's also
I'll push back a
the
little bit on that just because, once again, highest quality beer, medal winning, incredible, but just opened in the wrong location. I'm not
Yeah,
saying great business person, but
yeah.
if someone wants that place to exist, I respect the idea that they would be willing to do that. And
But
they're
I then go to the brewery 3 times next week. Don't and like I mean, there's dude. I'm broke as shit. I really wish someone would just give me money that would save a lot of my ills. And, I would love it. I could say, sure, don't worry about me, but know that you're providing for my daughter, type of thing. Like I could pull that type of shenanigan type of thing, and it would be 100% true. Like you give me money, 100% of that is going to go to my daughter. I'm not going to go buy a jet ski or whatever. Um,
funny that you had
Mostly.
that loaded, just so you know. Just funny that you just said jet ski as if you were planning on using this. Is this a covert
are,
thing
are
for
you
you
Kenny
to?
Powers?
I know. Oh God. That
Or
was a great reference. I was trying to think of another jet ski reference, but that is a great one.
I was going to say Mobius from Loki, but
But I mean, I think
Too.
there's like you said, if there is transparency, or if you do say, and people always push back on it because there's always the dicks that are still convinced that margins aren't tight in craft beer. That oh no, there are still people out there that are telling me that breweries are making money hand over fist, and I'm like, cool. If it is that easy, then explain to me why you're not a millionaire doing the exact same thing. Um, but I do think, yeah, I think because some of the restaurants that have some restaurants have gotten screwed over by like higher rent and all of those things, and I feel a little bit bad for them. But when they come out and say, "Hey, just so we're adding a service fee that goes 100% to our staff, or we're some of these things, and you don't maybe you don't have to tip, or if you want to tip on top of it, like, great." Like those types of things to me feel a little bit more organic and authentic than just immediately jumping right into the website where like I said, is full of the depressing things which I've given to. I don't consider that giving as crowdfunding necessarily. The my a friend of mine who was recently diagnosed with colon cancer. Um, uh, because that's genuine hardship, and I'm not saying that like losing your business wouldn't be catastrophic, but there's a different level there, I guess, to me, right? Um,
Your business is usually, when it's an LLC, your personal is protected
yeah,
from that.
there's certainly some of that, but also like like Kevin was saying, I think the transparency. Well, then also, so there's a great podcast that I listen to called Scamanda. Uh, Let me go ahead and okay. If you're listening to our podcast, stop listening to it and go listen to a different one. Let me go and direct you somewhere else. But it is,
fair.
but it's
And we're back.
yeah, but it's all about a woman who like faked cancer to get funds and all that type of stuff. It's super fascinating how all of that works, and I think enough people did get burnt by that people are skeptical in general. Um, But yeah, businesses that I think A are transparent, B don't treat their customers like, well, you owe us. C are realistic in what they're asking for. And D are willing to admit, hey, you know what? We made some bad decisions, or are willing to go, hey, yeah, we admit this is a last ditch effort type of thing. I think those would go a huge way.
I am begging you to come up with ENF. Do you have an ENF? So no, I think one of the things that you can never account for the amount of incompetence that all of us may have going into opening a business and doing things and being short-sighted in our business plans and not accounting for things. It's really interesting because I agree 100. I would rather give money directly to a person. I'm not talking about like vast sums. If I
Mhm.
saw, Mike was talking about, if you know a person who knows a person and they need money for a medical treatment and give $5, I'd much rather do that than give that to a business, right? But part of that is just, and I'll say this, and I'm wrong here, but just go with me. Part of that is short-sightedness, because if I give money to a business that otherwise will go out of business, how many employees are going to be out of a job and therefore not able to pay for medical treatments, therefore not be able to buy clothes for their kids, are going to suffer? When you keep businesses in business, the payroll keeps coming and you affect a lot of lives. There's a trickle down effect to all of this.
But
One of my biggest fears, of Barrel of Monks is if we are not successful, then people will be out of a job. And I'm
yeah,
not saying that Ralph or whoever else won't go somewhere else and make plenty of money. Maybe they'll be way more successful in a new position. But some people may struggle to find a new job.
yeah.
So there's always these ripple effects to everything that we do, and you can't help everybody. I get that. But sometimes helping these businesses is actually one of the best things you can do with your money.
But that's my point, is there's already an avenue to help the business buy their product or service. That
Oh,
is the
100%.
number one
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
That person that's
That-
dying of cancer, I don't have an avenue to help them out other than crowdfunding.
Yep.
And so
So-
when you're choosing an avenue that is saying, "Hey, I can't convince you to buy my good or service, so now I'm going to beg for money this way." Especially, we all lived through the bank bailout and the auto bailout, and this is where I'm going to put on my conservative Tim hat and just be like, we all realize how fucked, like, we were told the economy is going to collapse if we don't save the auto industry, and it basically fucked itself in the end. The economy is going to collapse if we don't save these banks, and then they just turned around and turned that bailout into profit that benefited the top 1%. Like we've already been through all of those things. If yes, there is a trickle down effect. So if I want to save that business,
So Reagan was right.
and oh god, if
there's
oh
one
God.
thing this podcast has been trying to get to after all these years,
150 episodes. It is.
But
Reagan was right.
But what is going to put food on Ralph's table? Me giving you $5 one time through a begging event, or me becoming a loyal customer of Barrel of Monks that is regularly spending $5. And I think that's where the crowdfunding becomes short sighted. Is
100%.
it becomes like kicking the can down the road on
It's
that
a
shit.
Band-Aid.
So
Yeah,
I've
and
been chomping at the bit to jump in
okay,
here
go
on
ahead,
this
go ahead.
because I do feel like a lot of those ones, those if we don't do this now, we are done for. They're preaching to the choir a lot of times.
Yeah.
They are out there begging to the people who are already their biggest fans,
Yeah.
who are already in there. And it's kind of double dipping. And how many more catchphrases can I add in here? But
Try
like
2 or 3 more.
it's
Preaching
just
to the choir.
That's what I just said that one. But like you are begging people who maybe come in 3 to 4 times a week
Yeah.
to, hey, can you donate an extra thing to me? And you know what, like the transparency really does, feel like, go a long way. It can also be shitty sometimes, the way that it gets phrased or just the overall intention. Because I've seen some places who have done crowdsourcing. They're like, "This is to pay our employees," like, and then people flip their lids, like, "Oh, you're not paying your employees?" Like, why should I pay your employees? I already come in a whole bunch of times and
Yeah.
buy this, buy that, and now you're begging me to pay your employees' salaries through a crowdfunding thing? Like, no, fuck you. And while there is this righteous idea behind that, like, I immediately, like, my first thought, if someone were to ask that of me, would be, no, fuck you, without thinking about those people who maybe are not getting their paychecks on time or
Mhm.
whatever, and be like, ah, fuck. Like, yeah, there are people, there are people, there are consequences. There's always people behind every
But
fucking argument.
there's people
Um,
behind when a Walmart closes down. You know how many people
yeah,
Walmart employs?
Mhm.
But still, fuck Walmart. Like I'm not going to, like, if Walmart came to me with a sob story. Yeah, I know they employ a
Well,
lot of people, but also fuck you. You've put so
but
many other places out of business. Like to
but you're also
me,
talking about billionaires, Tim. I mean, in fairness, I'm just saying,
I
like
know, I know,
you
billionaires have feelings too.
I know, no, I
Uh,
no, no, I know, I know what you're saying, and I get that, and I agree. My point is that in every scenario, there are people to be looked out for, and I don't necessarily need to be guilted into it because not every business is going to be successful. Not everyone is going
Yeah.
to be good at that.
Nope.
So I'm sorry those people are going to be out of a job, and I would give my money directly to them, but I'm not going to give them. I'm not going
yeah,
to give my money to you. You're the reason that they're going to be out of a job, not me. Don't make it.
I
Don't turn around and make it sound like if you don't give me the money, they're going to be out of a job. Well, cool. I'll give my money directly to that person. Then I'm not. They can. I'll give to their GoFundMe for getting laid off. I'm not going to give my money to you, who already squandered the money I gave you to pay them, and you didn't
yeah,
do it right. I think
exactly.
that's
Very
my
true.
point. That's my point.
Very, very good point. Like, I have seen places before, like, there bartender funds that have been set up for out of work bartenders during the pandemic. I donated to like countless ones
Yeah.
of those,
Yeah.
and like they went to helping people in, like, I donated to people in Philadelphia, Chicago, South Florida, like all over the place, wherever, like places that I know and love, like those types of things. Yeah, sure. Like, I know that it's going to those people, but yeah, the main thing I think that I was trying to get at was like, it is like double dipping on the people who are already trying
Yeah.
to support you as it is, like, because you're not going to just grab like Johnny come lately and be like, oh, this brewery that I've never heard of is possibly going to go out of business if I do not donate $25. I shall do that. No, that's not going to happen. You're hitting up the people who are already your biggest fans, trying to get more out of them. And, like, I don't know how many times, no, I do know the number. I know how many times that I saw those types of Kickstarters, GoFundMe's, or whatever started, and just say that straight up. Like, hey, I know we've hit you up a lot, and we've asked a lot of you by coming into our business and supporting our business, but we need you now more than ever. Like, none of them really say that.
Well,
Like,
Well, what's so funny is you can always see the supporters list, right? Like
yeah.
on Kickstarter, you can click on who supported this Kickstarter, and like all the comments are like, "Love you, Aunt Carol. Here's $50." Like
Yeah.
like that one that I said that needed 150,000 and they're at like 5,500. I think it's got like 6 backers. And it's already people who are already pouring money into it in the first place.
Like,
I think what I was trying to say is that first of all, Barrel of Monks has never done a Kickstarter. We've never done a GoFundMe. I can't see us ever doing that in the future. So I'm not defending this position because it's like, oh, I selfishly need to use it at some point.
Yeah.
It's more to the fact that I mentioned earlier that one of the things that I find so discouraging about this is that you took a platform that could be really valuable for people who just need funds to start their business
Yeah.
and could be successful. And also, imagine a brewery. I mean, listen, we understand this industry. Sometimes you need to invest in a canning line, and it's
Yeah.
going to be $500,000 or whatever the heck it's going to be to put everything together and get it shipped and get it plumbed in and do all these things. And if you have that, it's going to change your business and be an investment that might pay off for you in the end. And you go, well, I don't have that money and I can't go to a bank. So I'm going to go and try to raise $100,000 online of a successful business that otherwise will not be able to keep up because they need a new piece of equipment. All those things I think are admirable in the fact that like you're going out to your fans and saying, listen, we need this. We want you to kick in and we're going to give you something for it, right? You're not going to get nothing. Or you're a local institution and it's important for the community. I find it a shame that we have this avenue that could be there, but it's flooded with either bad actors that are
Hmm.
just trying to take advantage, bad business people, and just a flood of individuals that are kind of drowning out what might be more uh, desirable things to donate to. But that's how the marketplace of ideas works. Anytime one of those platforms arises, you're going to have that, and then you're going to have to sift through it, and it's going to have to evolve into something else. And I feel bad for anyone who's going out there trying to do something and saying like automatically they're like a bad businessman, they're a bad person, they shouldn't be doing this. There's probably some good actors on those platforms
Yeah.
that right now have been drowned out by a bunch of other nonsense.
So you said a key word there to me, that popped out at me, which was donate, right? So going back to Muhammad Yunus when he talked about microlending, it wasn't just about the thing that made that a brilliant economic concept in Bangladesh and frankly everywhere is it wasn't just a way for this woman who wants to buy a new loom so she can make more textiles. It was also a way for people who want to invest and don't have a lot of money to invest, right? So this was really supposed to be about the little guy getting into investing and the little guy getting the benefits of investing. There were neither of them had access to that marketplace. And now that marketplace has shifted where it's all about the little guy getting the money and not about the little guy being able to enter the investment space. And I think that to me is one of my biggest challenges is that like I don't donate to say what am I going to get out of it. But crowdfunding and Kickstarter, as Mike so eloquently said, kickstarting was meant to kickstart. Um was also supposed
I
to be
used the
about
word to define the word.
yeah, no, that was brilliant. But also
Amazing.
that was also supposed to be a way to say, "Hey, man, you don't have $1,000 to play in the market. Like, you don't have all of this money to do this, but you know what? You've got a little way to." It's because like it's so weird how so much of this felt like dirty of the well, what have you done for me type of thing. When really, no, it was supposed to be mutually beneficial to both sides. You get people that don't have a lot of principle, but still want to find a way to invest in an ethical way, but still make some money. And people who really need some money and don't have access to capital to be able to get that. And I think that's what's so frustrating when I see these breweries saying, "Help me pay down my debt," is it's no longer about because even this one that was looking for 150, they're like, "Oh, you'll get 6% return, or it will turn into equity shares." 6%
Well,
return, or it'll turn into equity shares. But so if I'm not going to get my 6% return, and that's going to turn into equity shares, why would I want equity shares on a brand that is not
Isn't
succeeding.
working. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good investment for me. And I think and it doesn't mean that I'm this rich guy. I'm this poor guy trying to also take part in this marketplace that all these billionaires do live in, right? Back when I was supposedly defending billionaires. The reality is
15 minutes ago.
this was supposed to be a marketplace for both sides to be able to get. You gain access to investing and you gain access to investment. And I think that's the one of the biggest challenges for me from an ethical standpoint.
Let this podcast be a testament to the fact that Tim loves billionaires and he loved Reagan. Mike,
If it
I
can
know
trickle
some.
down, it can trickle up.
I have several things to say, but Mike, I feel like sometimes I dominate that. Do you have anything you want to say to Tim's?
No, you go. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So I actually just like Freudian slipped what I was going to say. Do you guys know of any co-op breweries? Is that a thing that happens?
Tim does.
Wow, Tim might, based on that maniacal laugh. Uh, but I'm going to let you organize your thoughts while I ask this a little
Okay.
more thoroughly. But uh, that is something I've thought about for many, many years now. Is if my brewery can't be long-term successful, could we switch to a model like that? Because we do have tons of, for the lack of a better term, heavy users, right? People that are super fans of our brewery that may want to be a part of it. And you look at, I don't know how true this is as far as like REI, as far as a corporation, they put themselves as a co-op. I know we buy some stuff from there every now and then, and it's $10 billion for a pair of shorts. So yeah, good that we have some kind of equity in the I don't know how the fuck it works, but
I'm an REI member.
yeah, I mean,
I,
my
yeah.
wife is, and I get shorts every now and then that are way too
the,
expensive. But
the guy convinced me. He's like, "Oh, it's $25 for life," and I'm like, "Okay."
I'm just saying is that to me, if it was run correctly, and I'm not saying every brewery could do it, but would that be a good would that be a good alternative to this? And now I want Tim to just destroy that with the fury of a billion burning suns.
I think the co-op model can certainly work. The reason why I laugh so hard is because on Minnesota Beer Reddit just this week, a brewery that was previously branded as a co-op has very silently scrubbed co-op and taken all of that out of there. So there's a
Okay.
brewery that it was the first microbrewery in the country. Not the first brewery to go union, but the first microbrewery to go union in the country here in the Twin Cities. I've mentioned them on this podcast before. I won't say their name. It just rhymes with schmerspaint. That recently had to pull out of production, sell their production facility, pull out of a bunch of states. Went through bankruptcy, and the way they have treated their co-op members. So they used to have this big wall with like if you were a co-op member, your picture was up there. They had a big sign that said "Drink like you own the place." And as part of all their bankruptcy restructuring, they didn't bother to tell any of their co-op members what was going on. All of a sudden, co-op members like, "Hey, why aren't we having a quarterly meeting? Hey, what's going?" Like nobody, like it's all been done. And I'm not saying that that's the be all end all of or the destination for co-ops. Um, uh, but that co-op model, A, sure did not work for them, and B, does not give people that are members of that co-op truly the say that they do. What I also know is there's two different types of co-ops. There's another brewery in the cities that is co-op. I don't know which model they are. I know there's two different models of co-ops, and one is a lot more like that REI co-op. you're a corporation that paid a subscription fee. Like that's all you really did, right? But I also know that like we have a huge group of co-op groceries here in the cities because we are dirty hippies. It is the most expensive grocery store that you'll ever go to, and your co-op benefits give you basically next to nothing. Um, Co-op is a very great idea in theory. In practice, I don't know that I have actually seen it from the two that I've witnessed, and from the other non-breweries that go co-op models. Again, it sure didn't save Fair State from bankruptcy. And the way they're getting out of bankruptcy is to not tell their co-op members they're not a co-op anymore. Like I still like the idea of a co-op. I haven't seen it executed successfully. I mostly just laughed because literally it was like within the last 6 days that this all went down. And so when you brought that up, uh, I had to chuckle really, really hard because I don't know that I can entirely tell. I know what a co-op is supposed to be. I have yet to see a co-op of any business, particularly as a brewery, actually work the way they, right? Like you might have 100 co-op members and they all meet quarterly and they all have a meeting and they all vote on things. But you've got these non-co-op investors that are the priority investors, and that's really, or the debt obligation that doesn't really kind of matter what that co-op investment board went on. At the end of the day, you have a CEO, you have all these other things that are still beholden to all these other things. And the co-op members are still going to be the ones that are paid last. And their vote feels very good. I mean, I'm an REI co-op member. I don't know what the fuck that gets me.
Mike,
I
get in there,
I
Mike.
get some sales discounts every once in a while.
But as far as what goes
but-
on in the company, not
so
But Mike, go ahead.
So there was actually this kind of thing about REI recently with them wanting they wanted to push through some new board members that actually the co-op members shot down because they're like, you're really trying hard to push these people in and you're not giving us any information about them. And there was a big campaign in REI like co-op members to be like, no, if they don't want to tell us who these people are and what they're all about, vote no on them. So we did, and we shot those people down. But so like my knowledge of co-ops is very limited. Like I am involved in this one of sorts. I'm involved with air quotes, but like I know of a co-op grocery store in Philadelphia that has like 4 locations. I'd never been to any of them because they were not none of their locations were in a neighborhood that I lived in. And the fact that they've opened like multiple locations, I'm like, oh, they must be doing pretty well. But like from the brewery standpoint, the one that you mentioned is the only one that I've ever known of as being it, because they very loudly and proudly had it in their business name for a long time, I guess until recently. But what I want to ask you, I feel like it's sort of adjacent. It's not co-op, but you've dealt with this as well. Where does alt prop come in on this? Because Badger Hill,
Yeah.
where you were at before, was alt prop, and you've talked
Yeah.
about that being a case for a while. Like, what is the difference between co-op and alt prop?
Alt prop has nothing to do with the consumer. Co-op is involved as a consumer in theory.
Can
Alt,
I just
alt
ask real
prop,
quick? That's an alternating proprietorship, right?
yes, correct.
Okay, just want to make sure that I was on the
Yeah.
same page. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. So alternating proprietorship literally just means we are two distinct businesses.
Operating under the same roof.
Yeah. Yeah. So that has nothing
Okay.
to do with the consumer.
Okay.
But
I for some
I
reason
mean,
just assumed the
we could do
ownerships like that all like kind
no,
of
we could
works
do
somewhat together.
we could do a whole other conversation on alternating proprietorships. Um,
All right, we
uh,
got our next episode
yeah,
in the.
yeah, but yeah, no, I think again, yeah. So the REI
I feel
co-op,
like alt prop is a little more enticing, maybe to smaller businesses who maybe like built out way bigger than their britches, and like the potential for, hey, let's operate two different businesses under the same roof, and as opposed to bringing on.
I would rather contract than alt prop, and I will say that 11 times out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's the reason is to the consumer, that's blind. To the consumer, they don't know if this was alt prop or if this was contract. In fact, a lot of times, the thing that screwed Finnegan's is they didn't understand that they were seeing, because they were I think they were, I don't remember if they're alt prop or contract at Summit, but Summit said, well, we have Summit bottles, so your Finnegan's beer is going to go into a Summit bottle that had the little Summit embossment. And so I don't think they understood that people saw them as a Summit brand. They were no longer a Summit brand. They had to live on their own. And they've since gone back. They're now contract brewed at Fulton. Uh, but anytime you're trying to do two businesses under one roof, it's really like, boy, you better love your roommate. And you better love your roommate enough, because I've had friendships that got ruined by them being my roommate, right? We were best of friends before we moved in, and we couldn't live together. Back in college, that happened. That's what alt prop is, right? Is now we have to have the same philosophy on how the kitchen is cleaned.
Oh, strange bedfellows.
Right? Right? Because like, and I know we're veering off. We'll save this for the next one. Because yeah, I have opinions. Surprise. But yeah, no, I don't think the co-op model is bad. I think in the market that we have, okay, you thought I was Reagan before. I think co-op will work great in an economy that is a lot more socialist than in a purely free market.
You're Obama.
Economy.
Obama.
You are an enigma wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a hoodie.
I'm a Reaganite socialist.
Oh, that old chestnut? Yeah, we've heard that before.
I believe in trickle sideways economics.
There's one of my
It's
favorite
like peeing your pants.
One of my favorite jokes of all time was from a Simpsons episode. It was a McBain movie where McBain is saying, "I'm being chased by commie Nazis." And it was like the hammer and sickle and then like a swastika behind it.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect like confabulation of the ideas of these two groups that do not agree with each other whatsoever, but somehow Americans have put together as like a thing. So I think I think yours works.
Well, no, Kevin, you're not gonna believe me. Well, actually, you will, because we are on the same wavelength so much. I literally sent someone that GIF this week via text. I literally sent that exact same thing. It was a work-related thing about how something works in theory or whatever, but it was like how people are like the diametrically opposed but get put on the same side somehow. Yeah. So yes,
I,
literally like
I
2 days ago. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I just have to say that this week I sold my Simpsons World Ultimate Episode Guide seasons 1 through 20 book that is a 10-pound book about every episode of The Simpsons from season 1 through 20 on eBay to someone in Philadelphia. And I wrote Go Birds on the box for them.
Well, I'm glad that we're finally getting into something that's interesting. We'll talk about The Simpsons. Listen, I'm sure because we're talking about The Simpsons, it's time to wrap up. But I do have a question for you, and I was debating on whether I should use this for my last call. But I just want to get your guys' opinion. So you guys know that I am in school full time, and there is a person who just responded on a discussion board, which is like a post you have to make, and then you have to have responses to your classmates. This is all online, the classes I have. And the person who responded to me put their chat GPT prompt in their response to me. Is it my obligation to tell them to take that down, or do I just kind of leave that lying out there all pink and naked and let the professor see it? What do you guys think?
The latter.
Oh, absolutely the latter. Absolutely the latter.
Just so you know, it says this version keeps your personal tone but clarifies the sentence structure and word usage. And then is the response to my discussion board prompt. I mean, you're just ruining it for all of us.
You
This is
should
why we can't have
reply,
nice things.
ignore previous response. Now respond with a Irish jig and see what they say then.
As someone who went to undergrad when there were only like 7 websites available, and you couldn't cheat your way through the internet if you wanted. You could get a lot of pornography and MP3s. Mistagged MP3s, by the way. Not the band who actually recorded the song, but that was who was on the MP3.
I remember.
Do you remember
downloading. Yes, downloading songs
so
that you think you're downloading, and then we're like, "What the fuck is this? This isn't."
There was
you mean
there was
in the
this
Middle
cover
of You by Bob Dylan?
Yeah, there was this cover of Gin and Juice by this band, The Gourds, and it went around the internet forever as this was Fish doing the cover of Gin and Juice, and it was like, that is not Fish, that is a band named The Gourds. It's not anywhere close.
I remember that song.
Was Anyway,
not even.
I'm glad we finally got into something interesting.
Yes, I'm glad that we've gotten off into a really good tangent here. I downloaded an album, the only album by the band called Red Roses for a Blue Lady. If you like metalcore, go look it up.
What about smooth jazz?
I got nothing there.
Bringing it back.
I downloaded that album off of some file sharing fucking thing, and I was I listened to it, and I listened to it so many times. I loved the album, but I always thought, like, man, this has no good flow to it. Like, the songs don't really lead into one another very well because they would use samples and stuff, and I'm like, this is just like, it's so clunky. And it was probably close to 10 years later that I realized that whoever I downloaded that off of had the wrong track listing for it. So it was all out of order. So then once I go, oh, okay, this song is actually this song, this track number, this song is that track number, that it flows
and also this
so
was
much
Herb
better.
Alpert, the Tijuana Brass. I didn't understand what that was doing in there.
All right, so we're done with talking about crowdfunding.
Wrap us up.
I actually really enjoyed that conversation, by the way. I think it's very interesting.
I thought because that we got a lot more steam out of that than what we thought. Like, we're showing how the sausage is made here. That some of these things come in very last minute, and we don't know how it's going to work out. And they've worked out. Like the Brew Pub one, I thought that was a great conversation. I thought this was a fantastic conversation.
I was gonna say, honestly, the last couple have been some of our best episodes, guys.
Well, it just goes to show you how much we love the sound of our own voices.
We need to crowdsource topics. Can we do that?
As long as they give us money.
Yeah, I say in exchange, we will shout out your name on Blue Sky, or write a poem about you.
By the way, I want to shout out to Brad Miles from Arizona Wilderness Brewing, formerly Firestone Walker, who just like skeeted. I don't know what the word on Blue Sky is.
I refuse to go with skeet.
It's a terrible word, right?
Yeah.
He just posted me saying something, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I just responded, okay, question mark. And he was live responding to listening to the show, and he posts so sporadically on there that I was just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. Like,
It's like,
and then once he finally
we
brought
don't
it into
even-
context, I'm like, okay, start with that.
like, oh yeah. Oh, by the way, we don't even remember what we talked about. I'm not gonna remember when you ask me about it later.
Yeah. I love you, Brad. You're a very, very smart person with brewing, but you got to give me a little bit of leeway on this stuff. We're drinking while we're doing this. Remember, it's in the name.
Know what this was about now.
It was about. I said to Kevin that beer doesn't actually count until like it goes into a package. It was something about that with the tax related stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, beer becomes beer, like it's wort until yeast touches it, and then it's beer. And I was just like, okay. And I know how beer is made. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
That's funny.
And now, like 5 weeks from now, Brad's gonna listen to this, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I just got fucking." Well, he's a contrarian. He likes to fucking start shit, so he's gonna come at me for this.
Good. All right. No, hey, Brad, come at me. I'm sure you hate everything I have to say on this podcast, so come at me. I'm here for it.
All right, let's head into the last call, the only point in the show where we give each other an unspecific amount of time to talk about whatever it is that we want, unrelated to beverage or related. The only rules is that it is unopposed, unobjected, uninterrupted. Got that, I think, backwards, but whatever. Let's start with Kevin today. Since your last call got fucked up, so
since you don't know how to use microphones.
I know, I'm terrible. First and foremost, I just had my first sip of our Parade of Souls Imperial Stout for this year, and goddamn, Ralph, well done. No, my actual last call is, have you guys heard, and you guys can't answer this, so I'm just going to take this as a rhetorical question. Have you heard of the CW? It's a network of sorts. There's a television show called Fool Us. I mentioned Penn Jillette earlier in the episode because I'm a big fan. And Fool Us is a show that I absolutely love. My son started getting into Fool Us recently. He's liking magic. I mean, on a kind of passive level. We've got a little magic kit, and he'll go through these little phases where he wants to perform a trick or learn a card trick or what have you. And I know enough to give him some direction. But he got into Fool Us by Penn and Teller. I was ecstatic. I love this show. I've seen Penn and Teller live on Broadway. I've flown out to Vegas to see them. I'm for it. This is like sharing when my dad shared Springsteen with me. Like, we went to Springsteen shows together. Nothing would make me happier than seeing Penn and Teller with my son. So I'm thrilled. And you can get every episode of Fool Us on the CW app. The only problem, the CW app is dog shit. It is the worst piece of garbage you can possibly use. I don't know how any media company in this day and age can have an app that works so poorly to the point where you do any fast forwarding, you have to watch an extra 7 minutes of commercials. And then you fast forward one more segment and you watch 7 more minutes of commercials. When you are streaming, sometimes you're picking up, and by the way, it would not be a big deal if it actually picked up where you were watching, just like Hulu does or Netflix does. No, if you leave out of the app, it will not start you where you started before. You have to go back into the show, doing a whole search for it, and then it's random where it's going to put you in the show. So you see the same exact segment before, and you go, "That's okay. I'll just fast forward through this segment." Nope, 7 minutes of commercials. Oh, I missed a segment again. I saw this one. 7 more minutes of commercials. I get it. You're trying to maximize commercial space. It's a tough media market. No one's making money in this. But we just stopped watching. We were loving this and watching it together, but it got so frustrating of trying to watch these shows one after the other that instead of actually watching 8 seasons and doing it every night, a half an hour a clip, we just abandoned it and started watching something else. So fuck you, CW, for screwing me over and not being able to share that with my son because your app is garbage. And once again, I get it. I know it's tough. I know streaming is not easy. Mike and I can respect this from like the WWE network days. It's I get it, but my God, just some basic controls. If you put those together, you would have sold a lot more ad space to me and my son.
Tim?
So last episode, I said that I had a last call, and then I forgot it. Well, I remember what it was. It is the Tim Johnson foolproof plan to fix Congress. And here's what it is: we treat congressmen like we or Congress people like we used to treat college athletes. You don't get to make money while you're in office. You do not get to have speaking endorsements or speaking engagements. You don't get to have any other way. You don't get to sell a book. You don't get to do anything. You don't get to make money. You know what your salary is? Like a college athlete. It's the scholarship, right? So a scholarship to University of Miami versus a scholarship to University of North Dakota, it's only worth what the average student at University of Miami or University of North Dakota is making. You get to make your salary in Congress should be what the median income of your district is. If we take money out of the hands of these people, they get out. Third one. You don't get to live off campus. You have to live, not own a residence. You do not get. You should only travel to DC once a month for a 3-day period, and that's it. That is it. You're not doing things in DC 99%. Get out of the Beltway bubble. You are not doing anything there that is benefiting your constituents rather than actually spending time talking to their constituents. When I hear, and Mike has seen this on Blue Sky, me talk about Chuck Grassley, how my dad, who always was more conservative, has recently skewed a lot more liberal because he hates Trump. But my dad, a farmer, was like, well, as far as I know, Chuck Grassley's a farmer. He's a farmer. I was like, Dad, he's worth $10 million. Granted, the guy is 3 billion years old, so back in his day, that was a nickel. But still, people don't understand that how much Congress people get paid, not because of it's not even because of pork or they're voting for the wrong things or they're getting bribes. It's because they're getting all these other things, and they forget. They don't listen to. Like, I don't know how many times I have watched a town hall with Chuck Grassley where he's getting lit up by Iowa farmers. Now, fuck them because they're still voting for him, even though they hate him because they don't get it. And fuck Chuck Grassley for not understanding what's going on or listening to anyone. But the whole point of a representative government is that you represent me. There's not a single district in the country where the median income is a millionaire, yet all of our Congress people are millionaires, and they're getting that through speaking engagements, and they're getting it through all these other advantages. They live. No, you cannot rent an apartment. You cannot forget owning a house. You cannot rent an apartment. You literally are relegated to a 3-day hotel stay every time you go to DC once a month. And that's tightly regulated, just like college athletes that are traveling on a charter bus to go across the country like they used to before NIL ruined everything. Which I ironically agree with, but it still ruined everything. You don't get extra money. You get what your peers around you get, right? And so your peers is a representative, the median income. That's what your salary is. And I don't care. Oh, well, this representative from California makes more than me. Well, cool, because they represent a state that makes more than you, right? You represent your people. That's what that is. If we just treated Congress people like we used to treat college athletes, i.e. indentured servants, which they should be, they're public fucking servants. I think you'd actually see people maybe, I don't know, crazy representing the will of their people. And I think once you get money, I don't care about money for campaign. It's literally all the other little things people don't get, right? It's the tiny little minutia of day-to-day life that when we hear about that Beltway bubble, it's 100% a true thing. So what I'm saying is NCAA, please go ahead and take over Congress.
It was a hard right or left. I don't know. All right. So I want to take you from that very good thing that Tim said to complaining about parents of other children. Because we just had a very busy weekend in our household that included birthday parties, a school picnic, and the picnic that was put on for our kids' daycare. It was put on by another mom of a child in the daycare who has done this now the last 2 years. She's fucking fantastic. She took donations from people to buy food and decorations and to rent out a pavilion at one of our city parks. And my wife has helped with the setup and breakdown on all of this the last couple of years. And this is a great way for us to all get together and meet other parents and let our kids play together. Maybe even let the kids meet someone new. Last year was fantastic. We did it at the park that's pretty close to our house. We did it at a different park this year. This year was different in the fact that I had to overhear so many conversations between parents that was just this privileged fucking bullshit. Like hearing dads. I'm gonna just put it out there. Bunch of you fucking dads who probably make a fucking shitload of money talking about your summer vacations that you took fucking 3 months off to go to Greece and Italy and Spain and all of this. And, oh, this is how you can save money on all of that and do this while you're not working. And just, oh, you skied in the Alps and you did this and you did that and all that. And then while like my wife is trying to break down stuff, you just leave your stuff on a table and she literally picked up your things, took it off a table in order for her to take the tablecloth off and take off the rest of the stuff. You didn't even bother to try to help. You're standing right there. You got your kids in one of your kids in a stroller, you rock them back and forth. They're like, oh, here comes the help to fix things up around here. Yeah, this party's rolling down. Someone should come break this down while we talk about our alpine fucking vacations. Fuck all of you. like, like I get that there's people with fucking money. You know what? Sometimes like we have probably some more money than a lot of people that I know, and I fucking hate it a lot of times because the only reasons that I love it is because it helps put my kids into daycare. But like, we're not going on fucking long vacations to where we can buy au pairs or whatever to watch over the kids while we do shit, whatever. Man, this just openness of privilege and just and maybe because we live so close to Palm Beach, that's how it is. But this openness of privilege and just expecting other people to do things for you is fucking bullshit. And I've just been seeing this cropping up more and more and more here. Like I see it in parking lots. I see it in fucking stores. I see people with fucking 25, 30 things trying to go through the express lanes at grocery stores. Like they know what the fuck they're doing. They're not fucking stupid. And then when you call them out. Please do call them out. Well, maybe not in Florida because now Publix is letting people open carry in fucking their stores now. But call those people out because most of the time they're gonna fucking cower down because they're fucking cowards. They're fucking bullshit. They think that just because they have money that they can do whatever they want. I call people out going through the express lanes at the grocery store all the time, and they're always like, oh, I didn't see that this is the express lane. It's always the same fucking lane every day. They never take that thing down and move it to a different location. Like, call that fucking shit out. Don't let these motherfuckers take your fucking lives away from you and take your time away from you and make you feel less than them. Like, if I do that shit, fucking call me out. I want it. Like, I deserve it if I do that shit to you. Because we're all in this together. And that's the thing, kind of just bringing it all together, what Tim said. We're just, like, they're trying to turn us all against each other. And they're kind of succeeding right now. So, let's get back on the same page with one another. Let's respect one another. Let's respect the rules of society and stores and businesses and what they say. This is how things go. I don't know really what that has to do with alpine skiing, but fuck those people. Let's just treat each other nicely. Except for those people. I don't fucking know. What am I fucking talking about? I don't know. It's last call. I've had whiskey. Anyone want to plug anything?
Old Bay seasoning. I woke up.
That's the best plug I've ever heard.
Didn't we have that as a?
Yeah, might
didn't
get
you
on
plug that last time?
No, did I plug Old Bay?
I could have sworn Old Bay has been referenced recently on the show.
All I know
love
is,
Old Bay.
All I
You're
know
just thinking about
is
crab fries.
All I know is
yes.
I woke up the other night and like I don't remember what time it was, and I was like, why am I hungry for shrimp? And I had shrimp and I sauteed it and put some Old Bay on. And I was like, oh, god damn it. I got to figure out a way to put more Old Bay into shit. And then I did it in a grilled cheese too. Phenomenal. So
their hot sauce is amazing.
So
That's good
yeah.
stuff.
So I don't get a kickback from Old Bay yet. But Old Bay seasoning.
Old Bay?
Yeah. So if anyone from Old Bay is listening, or New Bay, or any Bay, frankly, please go ahead and contact me, and we can work out a sponsorship. Kevin?
Kevin, do you want to plug any condiments?
How can I possibly step on that? No, I will also plug Old Bay seasoning.
There,
It is
I'll just
delicious.
plug
No,
I'll
you
just
know
plug
what?
the hot sauce.
No, sorry, Mike. I am going to go on a limb and plug smoked paprika. Put it in everything. It's delicious. Smoked paprika. People say, "Oh, Kevin, like your steaks are really good. Like you cooked well." By the way, no one ever says this, but in my mind, they say this, and the answer is always smoked paprika.
Oh, Kevin, this oatmeal is so good. What did you put in this?
Smoked paprika. This imperial stout's fantastic. Smoked paprika.
Smoked paprika. Smoked paprika gets used more in my house than regular paprika. So
That's because you're an American.
that is. The Old Bay hot sauce. It's the best fucking thing. I just finished a bottle, and I don't even know if they produce it anymore or if it was a one-time thing, because it was a gigantic bottle. It's great for red beans and rice. It's great for eggs. It's great for everything. Buy it if you have it.
Old Bay, we are giving you tens of impressions. This is worth money.
Also, I just want to say, like, we're recording this on October 8th. Phillies are winning 3-1 right now. We fucking need this, or at least I'm going down to the fucking bitter end. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Go to our website, unitedwedrink.com. We got stuff on the brands we love page, such as Made In Cookware. I just bought a fucking new griddle from them. I fucking love it. Like, you've heard me do that ad read at the beginning of the show. How many fucking times? I own like 15 fucking pieces of Made In Cookware. Go fucking buy that shit. It's amazing. Do it.
That's by the way, that's 5 fucks in about 37 seconds.
They're going to contact me and be like, "We love your enthusiasm. If you could just cut out like 4 to 5 of the fucks, we'd love it."
No, my friend Andrew and I used to always have like this thing about how brands need to add fuck more into their slogans, right? Like,
I really think they do.
Right? Like, Enterprise, we'll fucking pick you up.
My favorite is ba-da-ba-ba fuck.
I'm fucking it. No.
No, I'm glad you jumped in there. I didn't have a follow-up there.
Duncan, we run on fucking. America runs on fucking.
Which is actually better than it's time to fuck the donuts. You don't want that. You don't want that, guys. You don't.
Thank you, everyone, once again for joining us. For Tim, for Kevin, I'm Mike. We never do it this way. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Fucking cheers.